Yo, what is up, guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back again, everybody. We're back with another fragrance review right here, guys, on my final day off. Now, before I get back to work, guys, I'll talk about this fragrance that, in my opinion, is one of the spring summer staples when it comes to perfumery, guys. And right now, the weather is starting to get warmer, guys. So I feel like this is the perfect time to talk about this scent. And in my opinion, I should have done this review a long time ago. I did review the sibling of this fragrance, so I think it's about time to review the other half, guys. So today, that's what I got for you. I'm very excited. Let's go. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. Okay, liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel, especially that we are headed towards 22,000 subscribers. So please continue all your support, guys. Deep dive into my over 700 no hype videos, and I will continue doing this. I'll continue to give you guys all the freshest, newest stuff, as well as archive some of the classics like this fragrance right here. And the fragrance that we will be talking about today is none other than Maison France's Kurkdjian Gentle Fluidity Silver. Yes, Gentle Fluidity Silver by Maison France's Kurkdjian. This one right here is the official sample, as you can see. And I reviewed the counterpart of this, Gentle Fluidity Gold, many years ago. I was quite impressed with that. But this one right here, I don't know why I held my review to this. I mean, I have actually smelled this already before. But I feel like now, because spring, summer is here. I mean, summer is actually here. Sorry, my bad. Gentle Fluidity Silver seems like a type of fragrance that you guys might be interested in for this season, guys. All right, now let's look at this fragrance right here. This one has silver on it, and when you think about silver, you do think about cold, something metallic, something clean, guys. All right, and we shall see if this fragrance will provide the cold, if this is clean or is it metallic by any ways. Let's find out today. Let's go spray this thing right now. Okay, guys, now let's talk about this fragrance right here, Maison France's Kurkdjian Gentle Fluidity Silver. Now, the intro of this fragrance is quite impactful, as you can see from my reaction. Even after trying this fragrance multiple times in the past, really, every time I spray it, I get this type of reaction. And why? Because this is a fragrance that greets you with a very fresh English gin accord. All right, this is the first thing that comes in right here. And this English gin accord basically has a combination of juniper berries, an essential part of a gin accord, which gives you really fresh gin and tonic smell vibes, as well as clean musks and woods here in this intro, guys. And you have this really fresh explosion of this gin accord that eventually settles down into a nice lingering gin smell. And I gotta say, this is for me a 10 out of 10 type of intro. And as you guys know, I'm big on openings. All right, I like impactful openings versus catch-up dry downs, and this definitely satisfies my liking, guys. All right, so again, you've got this beautiful gin accord. You can say it's even like a cold gin accord. It's like a cold opening, cold intro, clean musks here and woods to accompany that gin accord, to accompany the juniper berries here in the gin intro of Gentle Fluidity Silver. Now, this opening here of Gentle Fluidity Silver, on top of that really fresh explosion of gin, right here in the opening, guys, with the juniper berries and the musk and the woods, you also are gonna get some aromatic spices. All right, now let me say something right here, because you guys might think that the spices might curve the intro, stopping the beautiful intro from really hanging around. No, the spices here, done by nutmeg, is actually quite light and aromatic. All right, it just lends a dry, spicy hand into this lovable intro, guys. All right, it makes it a tad more aromatic than usual. and that is what the nutmeg does. So for those that are wondering, oh, is that gin smell gonna go away within 30 minutes as the nutmeg arrives? No, it will still be there as you get the aromatic dry spices of nutmeg, guys. All right, so it does make the fragrance part spicy, and you can say that this could be a fresh spicy scent. And in terms of initial sillage and projection, you have an aura scent that settles down into a lingering scent with draw-in properties, guys. All right, so again, first blast is quite explosive. It's an aura scent. People around you will definitely smell you here as the gin accord hits the air, but also it settles down to a degree because it's got musks, it's got woods, and it's got the nutmeg to settle it down into a nice lingering draw-in scent. Now, the lovely fresh opening of Gentle Fluidity Silver does suggest to me that this fragrance is a mood enhancer. All right, this is a mood enhancer to me first and foremost, because it gives you that big wallop of freshness, that cold air, that cold silvery air with the combination of all these notes in the beginning, guys. And really, to me, this is what makes me remember this perfume more than anything, guys. All right, so I kind of like, every time I try a sample of Gentle Fluidity Silver, to be honest, I get kind of giddy. I get kind of excited because I kind of know what will come, what kind of freshness, what kind of mood enhancing benefit I can get from this fragrance from the first spray. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if just this intro alone, this gin accord with some nutmeg, with some musks and woods, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the main reason people will buy this fragrance. Okay, now let's go into the mid of Gentle Fluidity Silver. Now, the intro with the gin, the musks, the woods, as well as the nutmeg, this intro lasts up to 2 hours, guys. All right, now there is some overlap between the intro and the mid, but in my opinion, 2 hours coverage is more than enough to really enjoy this part. Actually, there's a fragrance that I'm currently testing called Arabesque, and that one had a really nice intro, but then I felt like it was taken away from me within 30 minutes. All right, it evolved into the next thing after 30 minutes, and it was something like, man, I wish that opening lasted longer. But here, guys, with Gentle Fluidity Silver, you get up to 2 hours coverage of that lovely English gin accord. All right, now the second part of this fragrance is purely coriander. All right, it is a very, very prominent coriander mid of Gentle Fluidity Silver. Is it really a change in pace? Not really, because coriander is really a spice that has lemony facets. All right, it has lemony facets here in this fragrance, so you kind of feel like you have citruses kind of backing up the gin accord. I mean, even with the overlap, it feels like there's lime in the gin. All right, I don't know if you guys can smell that, but I do. But there is that overlap with that coriander, and the spicy, the mild spicy facet is also a continuum from the intro. So there's no super complete change, but it does feel citrusy and lemony and slightly spicy here in the mid with the coriander. And again, this is a prominent coriander that takes over the mid after 2 hours of smelling that intro of Gentle Fluidity Silver. Now, let me say this. There are some people that don't like the mid of this fragrance, all right? And I can understand that because the coriander here can get intense. It takes the spotlight almost immediately after 2 hours, and it can get intense, and it does last a pretty long time. It lasts up to 7 hours into the fragrance, guys. All right, so this part, I would say, would be the testing phase. If you guys ever buy a decant, I feel like the coriander stage, the lemony spicy mid, might be the point of contention for those that might be 50-50 on this. So this part right here, the mid, you gotta like it because it lasts quite a long time, again, from hour 2 to hour 7 of this fragrance. And finally, on the ending, the dry down stage of this fragrance, you are gonna get musk, amber woods, and vanilla. Now this amber woods is pretty tricky too. Remember on my last video on the CDNIM, I talked about white woods being an accord. Well, the amber woods here is also an accord, guys, that according to MFK has pieces of patchouli and woods and some ambroxan in it. So this one right here is basically an accord, but to me, the final stage of this fragrance does smell like a piece of Aventus, honestly, guys. I don't know if anything about Aventus has been brought up here with Gentle Fluidity Silver, but the last part, especially if you've smelled vanilla batches of Aventus, I feel like it's the same way in the ending. It's got like musk, patchouli, like ambergris, and it also has that vanilla, kind of like that synthetic vanilla that comes in here that smells pretty much like a piece of Aventus here in this fragrance, guys. So this is very consistent though with being a balanced scent, and I guess that's the big difference between this and gold, because with gold it felt like an embery, like nighttime heavier fragrance, but here with silver, it starts off clean, light, and mood enhancing, and it maintains that property all the way until the end, still with musks and amber and some patch and vanilla, even with that big coriander stage. So it is a balanced fragrance all throughout that keeps an upbeat identity. And that is really what you can get here all throughout with the fragrance. Okay, guys, now let's talk about my feedback on this fragrance, Maison Francis Kurkdjian Gentle Fluidity Silver. Now, again, I feel like this fragrance will be purchased simply because of the intro. It's just that memorable, having a fresh, mood-enhancing, sparkling gin intro, that this is basically an easy grab. All right, you wake up, you think about something that will enhance your mood, especially in a dark and depressing day. I feel like this can reverse the tide. All right, you cannot really, not think about this amazing intro that it gives and the mood that it gives, that I feel like this is why people would buy it. I mean, for me, like I said, I felt giddy every time I was about to spray this thing, all right? No surprises, no special effects, but what it does, I think, is why people will buy it the most. And on top of that, this fragrance is completely balanced all throughout. There's a slight body in the fragrance, some slight spices, some mild woods, but really this is upbeat from start to finish. Even that ending that's kind of like a fantasy, in my opinion, is still quite upbeat with that vanilla, with the musk, slight patchouli, and what have you, amber woods. I really feel like it is a continuum of an upbeat fragrance that can be used day in, day out. And with that being said, this fragrance is a great grabber, okay? This one right here is an easy grab, I think, any season, but of course with a warm and humid weather coming in, guys, wherever you are, I feel like this is an easy grab. But also, this is something that you can casually use, whether at work or play. All right, I mean, it has this beautiful sparkling gin accord. You've got the citrusy, fresh, spicy coriander. I mean, this is like, what, 7 hours coverage. So, I mean, I feel like at work, if you need a mood enhancer, that is quite safe. I think it's there. And then also, if you want to casually meet up with your friends, this is a great one as well. And this fragrance is also unisex, in my opinion. Really, really unisex. But I wouldn't be surprised if some men feel like it's femme and some women feel like it's masculine. I would not be surprised, guys, because I really feel like it's right in the middle. Some people think it's masculine because of the gin and the fresh, spicy intro, guys. But I don't know. I mean, really, some people can interpret the clean musks as femme-like. All right, so I really don't know. But for me, it is truly a unisex scent that can be used by everyone. And finally, let's also talk about total performance on this fragrance. To me, this was a long-lasting fragrance, all right? It's a consistent, lingering scent that to me lasted past 14 hours, all right? Some people are saying this one disappears real quickly, but with my repeated testing of this fragrance, I got over 14 hours on this scent. I mean, really, the latter part, the dry down stage of this fragrance, in my opinion, has enough notes for this thing to keep going past the 12-hour mark, guys. All right, so it is a long-lasting scent, consistent, lingering all throughout. After the gin tonic blast in the beginning, coriander towards the end is a consistent, lingering scent. Can't say nothing about the performance of this one. Okay, now let's look at the full bottle worthiness of this fragrance, Gentle Fluidity Silver, as well as the price. Is this worth the price? Now, you already know what I'm gonna say, guys. This is an easy grab. Therefore, this is a full bottle worthy fragrance. This is a fragrance that, in my opinion, you're really gonna use to death. Okay, this might be that fragrance that you will really run out of, especially if you live in hotter places or warmer places. I mean, it really doesn't matter. You could live in a cold place, but this one gives you, like I said, a nice mood enhancing start and a continuum that's very balanced. That, in my opinion, this is very usable. Therefore, this is not a sample only or decant only fragrance. This is something that you guys can use through and through. Now let's talk about the price on this one though. This one for 70 ml is $240. All right, I don't think it's that expensive, but it's not cheap either. You know, if you have to fork $240 for a perfume. So with that being said, I feel like you have to try this first and really see if this is something that you will reach a lot. Is it a safe blind buy? I think it's a safe blind buy at $240. It's just that when you get to that price range, well, A, that's slightly expensive, and also there are a lot of perfumes that you can buy, different perfumes that you can buy with that kind of money, and you have to really look at your agenda, your total agenda in collecting, if this is worth your $240. Not that expensive, like I said, but again, it is also, to me, an easy grabber, a no-nonsense, straightforward fragrance that you can buy. Just slightly expensive, guys, but I think it's worth it if you love it. Ultimately, this is a real nice fragrance, Gentle Fluidity Silver, and I don't think the attention to this fragrance will ever really go away. I mean, I'm really thinking now that maybe the current gin tonic style fragrances were inspired by this fragrance, guys. All right, I feel like every time it's spring summer season, people will talk about this fragrance for what it does. In my opinion, what a great scent, guys. And that is it. That is my no hype review on MFK's Gentle Fluidity Silver. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think of this fragrance. I'm sure at this point, many of y'all have owned a bottle of this or have owned this for quite a while now. Is this your daily grabber when it comes to mood enhancing properties or during the spring summer season? Let me know in the comments below, guys. And again, please do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll be back for more videos on my days off. Thank you so much for watching. God bless. Take care. Peace.